Hello, everybody, and welcome to this particular session. Let's look at a very interesting topic. And I have realized, even as we have been interacting in the group, majority of the traders have been undergoing these kind of sentiments. That is fear, right? Fear. If you're not fearful, you're greedy. So let me give you something that you need to understand in the financial markets, that if you don't take risk, then you're not going to make money. And therefore you realize that most people are jeopardized not taking risk because of fear. Others, they take risk, but they take excessive risk. Okay, so what you need to understand in this case scenario, what you really need to understand in this case scenario is that both aspects, they are quite okay, both aspects, but now you have to manage both, because as a trader, you either begin with greed, then you lose a lot of money, you become fearful. That is the cycle of most traders. But what I want you to understand is this, that these two emotions control almost every decision you make in the markets. That is fear and greed. So you don't need, you don't see them actually. Sometimes you don't see them, they just happen. Okay, sometimes you don't see them, they just happen in the markets, and you're not even aware that you have them. So you don't always feel them clearly. Okay, you don't always feel them clearly, so they just find yourself in that situation. Maybe you're fearful, right? Because it unfolds slowly, so you will not always feel them clearly, but they are there, influencing your entries, your exits, your risk, and everything. And if you don't learn how to control them, they will control your account. So in this particular video, I'm going to be focusing how to expose the invisible battle happening every time you trade. That is the battle of fear vis-a-vis greed. So you need to understand that every time you open a chart, like this kind of a chart you can see here, every time you open a chart, there is a battle happening inside your mind, not between buyers and sellers, but between fear and greed. So you will realize that at some point, fear tells you close early before the price reverses. Greed tells you hold longer, you can make more. Fear will tell you don't take the trade, you might lose. Greed will tell you increase your lot size, this is the one. And most traders, they switch between these two emotions constantly, fear and greed. This is what fear looks like in trading. Fear doesn't always look obvious. Sometimes it looks responsible, but it's actually limiting your performance. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. You're in a trade, price moves slightly in profit, and you close early because you're afraid of losing it. That's fear. Another example, you hesitate on a perfect A plus setup because your last trade was a loss. That's fear. Another example, you move your stop loss too quickly because you want to protect your trade. That's fear. And here is the problem. Fear makes you cut your winners short or quickly. And when you cut your winners quickly, you destroy your risk to reward. When you talk about greed, this is what greed looks like in trading. Greed is more dangerous because it often feels like confidence. I'm going also to give you a couple of examples because I know these are things that we have all experienced in the market. The first example, you're in a winning trade, but instead of following your plan, you hold longer, hoping for more. That's greed. You increase your lot size after a win because you feel unstoppable. That's greed. You take trades that don't meet your criteria because you want more opportunities. That's greed. Greed makes you break rules. And once you break the rules, you lose consistency. Why do fear and greed happen in the market? Maybe I'll begin by asking, so why do traders constantly swing between fear and greed? It comes down to one thing, attachment to outcome. You are not focused on execution. You are focused on winning, making money, and avoiding losses. And when your focus is on out, your emotions will definitely take control. So, and there has always been that cycle, the emotional cycle. And here is the cycle most traders go through. You lose a trade, fear increases. You hesitate on the next setup, you miss an opportunity. You see the move played out, you start regretting. You jump into the next trade late, greed kicks in, you lose again, then frustration increases, and the cycle repeats itself. This is why traders feel stuck. It's not the market, it's the emotional loop. So, how do you control fear and greed? Here is how you'll break this cycle. I'll give you 5 steps. Step number 1, trade a defined system. If your system is clear, you don't rely on feelings. And the good thing is that I gave you the institutional age toolkit that will help you have a defined system. Number 2, predefined risk. When you accept your loss before entering, fear disappears. And I also gave you the risk management sheet in the institutional hedge toolkit. Number 3, used fixed rules for exit. Take profit levels, stop loss levels, no adjustment based on emotions. If you're going to adjust, that is maybe probably putting your stop loss at break even or trailing your profits. And you have to do it again moderately so that you don't put your stop loss very closer to the price and you end up being stopped and the market goes in your direction. Step number 4, focus on execution, not outcome. You need to understand that your job is not to win. Your job is to follow your process. Step number 5, and the last step, use the toolkit. The institutional hedge toolkit forces structure, bias, checklist, risk, and review. So it removes any emotional decision making. You can refer to the previous video I did about the toolkit, download the toolkit. I also did a follow-up video showing you how to use the toolkit. So you have everything at your disposal. The ball is on your court. So even before I wind up, remember that professional traders don't eliminate fear and greed. They manage them because you cannot do away with fear and greed. It will still come, irrespective of 10 years of trading experience, irrespective of 50 years of trading experience, irrespective of 1 year trading experience, whichever level of experience, fear and greed will always be there. So your work is to manage them, not to eliminate them, right? Professional traders, they don't react to emotions. They operate through systems. And I have given you the system in the institutional hedge toolkit. That's a system by itself. And that makes the difference. That makes the difference. So here is your challenge. On your next trade, pay attention. Are you acting from fear? Or are you acting from greed? Or are you following your system? Because that answer that you get from those 3 questions is the difference between inconsistency and precision. If you are serious about controlling your trading behavior, start using the institutional age toolkit. I'll see you in the next session.